If you look on a map, Nixa, Missouri appears to be little more than a suburb of nearby Springfield. But the people here, Nixons as they like to be called, take great pains to point out that Nixa is its own place. This may be a bedroom community, but it is a bedroom community with a lot of hometown pride. This is the kind of place that likes the comparisons to the idyllic Mayberry of the Andy Griffith Show. There's not a lot of industry here, or really a downtown even. But there is definitely, if you talk to most people here, an identity to Nixa. And a lot of that identity is formed around the schools here, which are among some of the best in the state. This is not a town that likes taxation, and this is not a town that spends a lot on services. In this community of 17,000, there isn't even a city library. But bond issues for expansion or improvement of the schools always pass here without fail. This is not a wealthy community, but it's not a poor one either. And there's a low cost of living, which, along with the schools, is one of the reasons why there are so many young families here. But aside from the civic pride and the good schools, the thing that really sticks out most about Nixa is the religious community here. This is a town that proudly proclaims itself being in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and the churches play a big role in the city here. The Ministerial Alliance, which is a group of about a dozen or so conservative evangelical churches in the city, when it meets, it not only has members of those churches there, but also people from the fire department, the police department, and the schools. And when the schools hired their last superintendent, they at least talked to the Ministerial Alliance first to make sure that everybody was on the same page. It's the kind of influence the religious community has here. When you hear a political analyst talk about cultural conservatives, they're thinking about places like Nixa. These are people who not only have their votes swayed by issues like gay rights, abortion, and stem cell research. Those issues define their votes. And as you might guess, this is a heavily Republican area. George Bush won this town with more than 70% of the vote in 2004. And as one city official put it to me with a chuckle, you simply don't run on the Democratic ticket in Nixa. So this should be a slam dunk for the Republicans in 2008, right? Not exactly. The one thing that's interesting talking to people around here is the amount of distrust of John McCain. They like him. They say, well, he's somebody I'd like to have as a neighbor, but they don't really trust him as being a true cultural conservative. Now, does that mean that the Nixa or the surrounding Christian county are really up for grabs in 2008? Don't bet on it. This area is Republican and conservative, and it will go Republican again. But one of the interesting things to watch here in 2008 is going to be the ability John McCain has to make inroads with the cultural conservative wing of the GOP.